Mughal tradition of succession. The Mughals did not believe in the rule of primogeniture, where the eldest son of inherited his father's estate. Instead, they followed the Mughal and Timurid custom of co-parency inheritance, or a division of a inheritance amongst all the son. Follow the highlighted passage in table 1, the note and evidence for rebellions by the Mughal prince. Which do you think is a fairer division of inheritance, primogeniture or co-prince? Mughal relation with other rulers. Take look at the table 1. Once again, you will notice that the Mughal campaigned constantly against the ruler who refused to accept their authority. But as the Mughal became powerful, many other rulers also joined them voluntarily. The Rajput are good example of this. Many of them married their daughters into Mughal families and received high position, but many resisted as well. The Sisodia Rajput of Mewar refused to accept Mughal authority for a long time. Once defeated, however, they were honorably treated by the Mughals, given their lands back as assignment. The careful balance between the defeating but not humiliating their opponents enabled the Mughals to extend their influences over many kings and chieftains. But it was difficult to keep the balance all the time. Look at table 1 again. Note the Aurangzeb insulted Shivaji when he came to accept Mughal authority. What was the consequence of this insult? Mansabdars and Jagirdars. As the empire expanded to encompass different regions, the Mughals recruited diverse bodies of people from a small nucleus of Turkish nobles. They expanded to include Iranis, Indian, Muslim, Afghans, Rajput, Marathas and other groups. Those who joined Mughal service were enrolled as Mansabdar. The term Mansabdar refers to an individual who holds the Mansab, meaning the position of rank. मीन्स जिसकी पोजीशन हाई होती है उसे हम लोग मनसबदार कहते हैं. इट वाज अ ग्रेडिंग सिस्टम यूज बाय द मुगल्स टू फिक्स. जिस तरह हम लोग अभी वोटिंग करते हैं, वोट दे के किसी एक आदमी जीतता है, उसे ही उस समय के लोग मनसबदार कहते थे. वहाँ पे ग्रेडिंग सिस्टम होता था उस समय. रैंक, सैलरी, मिलिट्री रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. रैंक एंड सैलरी वर डिटरमाइंड बाय अ numerical values called Jat. The higher at Jat, the more prestigious was the noble position in court and large his salary. जो जाट होते थे उनकी सैलरी और प्रेस्टिजियस बहुत थी और प्रेस्टीज थी और उनकी पोजीशन कोर्ट में अच्छी होती थी, उनकी सैलरी बहुत अच्छी मिलती थी. The Mansabdar military responsibilities required him to maintain a specified number of Sawar or cavalrymen. The Mansabdar brought his cavalrymen for review, got them registered, their horses branded, and then received money to pay them as salary. Mansabdar received their salary as revenue assignments called Jagirs, which were somewhat like iktas. But unlike Muktis, most Mansabdar did not actually reside in and administer their Jagirs. They only had right to the revenue of their assignment, which was collected from them, their servant. While the Mansabdar को सैलरी अच्छी मिलती थी, वे मेंटेन करते थे सारी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी में. सब तरह की रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उन्हें ही मेंटेन करनी पड़ती थी और वो अपने जागीर से उन्हें सैलरी. Mansabdar themselves served in some other part of the country. In Akbar region, these Jagir were carefully assessed so that their revenue were roughly equal to the salary of the Mansabdar. By Aurangzeb reason, this was no longer in case, and the actual revenue collected was often less than the granted sum. There was also a huge increase in the number of Mansabdar, which meant a long wait before they received a Jagir. These and other factors created a shortage in the number of Jagir. As a result, many Jagidar tried to extract as much revenue as possible while they had a Jagir. Aurangzeb was unable to control this development in the last year of his reign, and the peasantry therefore suffered tremendously. अकबर के रीजन में जागीर रेवेन्यू रफली इक्वल टू द सैलरी होता था, लेकिन औरंगजेब ने अपना सारा इस चेंज कर दिया और उन्होंने अलग से अपना किया. द जागीरदार ट्राई टू एक्सट्रैक्ट मच रेवेन्यू एज पॉसिबल. दे जागीर औरंगजेब वॉज अनेबल टू कंट्रोल दिस डेवलपमेंट इन लास्ट ईयर एंड हिज रीजन सफर्ड देमसेल्फ. वो फिर उसे अपने आप को ही सफर करना पड़ा. जब्त एंड जमींदार्स. द मेन सोर्स ऑफ इनकम अवेलेबल टू मुगल रूलर्स वॉज टैक्स ऑन प्रोड्यूस ऑफ द peasantry. In most places, peasant paid tax through the rural elites, that is, the headman or the local chieftain. The Mughals used one term zamindars to describe all the intermediaries, whether they were local headmen or villages or powerful chieftains. Akbar revenue minister Todarmal carried out a careful survey of crops yield, prices and areas cultivated for a 10 years period 1570 to 1580. On the basis of this data, tax was fixed on each crop in cash. Each province was divided into revenue circle, was its own schedule of revenue rates for individual crop. This revenue system was known as Jabt. It was prevalent in those areas where Mughal administration could survey the land. अकबर के समय में रेवेन्यू मिनिस्टर थे तोदरमल. उन्होंने अपने सर्वे करते थे पूरी क्रॉप की खेती की घूम के. प्राइस और एरियाज कल्टीवेटेड 10 सालों तक बिल्कुल सेम रहा. उनका टैक्स भी फिक्स्ड था. ईच क्रॉप पे अलग अलग क्रॉप पे अलग अलग तरह के उनके टैक्सेस थे और वो क्या करते थे कि जितनी क्रॉप होगी उसके अनुसार वो लेते ही थे. और उनका ये भी था कि रेवेन्यू रेट टैक्स इंडिविजुअल क्रॉप, हर क्रॉप पे अलग अलग तरह का उनका रेवेन्यू था. इस रेवेन्यू सिस्टम को ही हम जब्त कहते हैं. And keep very careful accounts. This was not possible in provinces such as Gujarat and Bengal. In some areas, zamindars exercised a great deal of power. Exploitation by Mughal administration could drive them to rebellion. Sometimes zamindar was peasant of the some caste allied in rebelling against the Mughal authority. This peasant revolt challenged the stability of Mughal empire from the end of the 17th century.